A new 30-foot-tall anti-Trump billboard in Times Square sparking major controversy tonight. The advertisement by athletic clothing brand Dhvani showing a woman dressed in the company's workout gear hog-tying the president in front of the White House while grinding her foot in his face. The billboard is just one in a series from the company taking aim at Trump. The company says the ads are intended to depict women's frustrations with the president's policies. The CEO of Dhvani releasing this statement, which reads in part, quote, "Our intent is for our brand to stand for progressive change in the face of what we perceive to be steps backwards in the evolution of our country." Now, clearly, the company got the attention it was looking for, but will this attention backfire on the company? Jonathan, what do you think?
I mean, David, it's ugly and it's dumb. I mean, it reminded me very much of there was a 2007 film called Death of a President, which demonstrated Bush's assassination. It's just ugly, and it will backfire on them. Just like, Occupy or just like Antifa, nobody rallies around destruction for destruction's sake. It really is kind of evil. When you start talking about the President of the United States, it's inappropriate. So, the values they should be celebrating are their ideas, not glorifying violence. It's wrong when some no-name clothing company does it. It's wrong when anyone does it. And that's why this type of advertisement, they have the right to do it, but it's ugly, and I think it backfires on anyone who demonstrates these types of ideas.
I want to echo that sentiment that it's not right to just use violence as an advertisement. And to play devil's advocate, I'd like to preface that. We have to mention the fact that there was that ad that was supported by the Trump campaign, depicting him stabbing and shooting his critics, and it was obviously altered online. But we can't attack one and not the other. I just don't think it's like what have we become? Like, where are we heading? The fact that it's just become so partisan, so cruel. And then you have this company that is saying that they're the world's first and only activist wear company, and that they used the Nike and Colin Kaepernick as a benchmark almost. They said that it was an example to push them forward. I just think it's just so disappointing that what you're seeing on your screen right now is the point we've come to. But we have to address all parties.
Look, the question is what was this company trying to accomplish? Obviously, people are talking about them. They say their sales are up. But this is what I would call my first reaction, what a bunch of doofuses, because this does not further any talk about this, any conversation on what they're talking about. So it goes absolutely nowhere. Within a few days, it's off the pages unless they do something else stupid, and those other networks who can't stand Trump will put them on there. But for me, it's just a bunch of nothing from a CEO who doesn't know what the heck he's doing.
Yeah, and this depicts a crime scene. I mean, the advertising company said that they would not show a picture of the president, but they'd show a caricature. So it's pretty much like a political cartoon. I don't think that excuses it. And Christina, to your point, I completely agree with you. Where are we headed? In the late 60s and early 70s, we had citizens of America bombing each other. We had a National Guard fire on students. That is the road that we are heading down, because both parties, both sides, are using this inflammatory rhetoric, which does incite violence. We have some idiots out there that don't need any provocation to do something stupid. We need to back off this. If you disagree with the president, that is your right. Do it civilly, please.
But
and vice versa for the Republicans.
Gary mentioned that their sales are up. I'm sure they're thinking about Nike. I don't know how deep their political commitment runs on this, although they claim they're for impeaching the president as well. But they look at Nike, and Nike's sales are just sky high. I mean, they don't go down no matter how political they become. I should mention, of course, so far they haven't had a violent twist the way this does.
It's completely different. And Nike,
I don't think it's completely different. It's very political.
Wow. It is completely different when you're depicting somebody gagged on the floor, the president of the United States, versus Nike taking a stand for police brutality against blacks in America. It is very different. Nike has also been a brand that has been stood for something in the United States. Phil Knight, one of the co-creators of the brand, has just stood for capitalism at its finest. So I would not make the comparison whatsoever.
Well, at the same time, the attacks on the flag are pretty indisputable. I mean, not only from Kaepernick himself, but from withdrawing that shoe that had the revolutionary flag on it, Jonathan?
David, I think there's a difference between withdrawing a shoe with a picture of a flag on it and demonstrating the president, any president. I think that's the point. Look, whatever you think of President Trump, disagree with his policies, but attack him on his policies. Exactly. And it's really the best you can come up with is a meme or a picture of the president being shot or hogtied or whatever this is. That's a pretty weak argument, and it's an argument in the marketplace of ideas that's going to lose.
Well, guess what? And I wish we had all of you present on Wednesday, because on Wednesday we're going to be speaking with the CEO of Dhvani. We're going to be asking him all about this. You don't want to miss it again.
So it worked.
The CEO of Dhvani will be here on Fox. We're going to put him to his feet to the fire. You better believe it. Meanwhile, Biden burning through cash as Warren is keeping people waiting on how she'll pay for a key plan. And Sanders is getting big name support. The latest developments from the 2020 campaign trail coming up.